Hi, I'm Ellie Shepperson. I am 17 years old. I am a 4-H ambassador. This is my first year, and this is my second year in Canadian 4-H. I've been making halters, these paracord halters, since I was a little kid, and they're really fun, super simple to do at home or on the go, and they're great for during the winter or whenever you're stuck at home, which a lot of us are right now. So this is just a quick little lesson to teach you how to do this so you can still do 4-H activities while being in the house. So how to make braided halters. I don't recommend these for halter breaking halters. You already have a somewhat tame animal. You're just walking them around and practicing for that as well. The process. So what you're going to do first is you're going to have to order all of your supplies. So the paracord, you'll have to get a lighter if you don't already have one. You just have to make sure you have everything. And then working on the project, this is actually a very easy project to stop and start again. You don't always have to be doing it. You could even take a break for who knows how long and come back to it. It's super fun for that. As you can see in the picture, I like to watch The Office or old Western movies while I'm making mine. Once you've finished the project, all you have to do really is just tie a knot and seal the ends, and you're done, and it's ready to use. And when you're using it, I suggest keeping it in a somewhat warm place. You don't want it to be too cold and damp. Just like keep it in your house or a tack box where it won't get chewed on or get too moist, because they can shrink if you leave them in like water for too long, which isn't too bad except for if you have it for a specific reason and you like it the specific length that it's at. Supplies. So what you'll need is paracord. I buy my paracord in bulk. I have about 1 million of these, but you can find just the specific amount of paracord you need on Amazon fairly cheaply. You'll also need scissors to cut your paracord, a chair or doorknob or something that you can tie it to, like so. You will need a pen or marker, at least for when you're measuring it out. You don't have to use it to make the loops, but I recommend it just so that it's easy to adjust. You'll also need a measuring tape for measuring out your paracord and a lighter. I suggest getting adults' permission first and possibly having them help you, because these can be fairly dangerous. You can burn yourself, so I would definitely talk to an adult beforehand. So before we get started, I will talk about patterns for just a quick second. Depending on how you lay out your paracord, you will have a different pattern. So for this one, I did a few different patterns actually. For the noseband, I just stuck to a simple stripe pattern like so. And then for the lead, I had a pattern where I had the green matched up together, but then the maroon was separate, and then I had red in between those. But then later on, I decided to switch it just for demonstration purposes, where I had the two maroons together and then the greens separate. So it's basically all about creativity. However you want it, you can lay it out that way, and sometimes it's best to just go with the flow and see what happens. So for measuring out your paracord, depending on what you're going to use it for, you'll need to have different measurements. So if you're having this for a lamb or goat or even just a small bottle calf, I would suggest going with about 15 feet. So you'd measure out 15 feet. And then what I like to do is I like to double it over. So that's 30 feet, but you keep it like this, just looped over, so that this will be your adjustment loop. And then I would cut it and seal the ends. and you do that again 3 more times, so that altogether you have 4 30-foot long loops, or when you double it over, you have 8 15. So yeah, you're going to measure it out, cut it, seal the ends, and tie the top. So I'll show you what the top looks like. So as you can see, I just make a loop around these so that it can't go anywhere, and then I tie it to my chair, or if I had it on my doorknob, I would tie it to there. And it makes it easy so you can untie it and then tie it to something else if you end up needing to use your chair for something. So now we will get started on the noseband and the loop. So this is what the loop ends up looking like. This is on the left-hand side of your animal. So I'm going to, all right. So today I'm not gonna show any specific pattern, but what I like to do is I like to match up all of my colors. So I have my 2 maroon right here, my 2 black, and then in this one I have 4 green. In my first one that I showed you, this one I have 4 black, 2 red, and 2 green. So what we're going to start by doing, now you can take your pen and put it in here like so, and then flatten out your strings, your paracord, like so. It's just easier to deal with like that. And then we're going to start by going over, under, over, under, over, under, and then over. And I will show you that. And you're going to want to make sure it's tight because you don't want the pen falling out, and you want it to hold its form. So just like that. And I have pictures as well to show you. And then you'll start again with the next string. You'll go over, under, over, under, over, under. And then you're going to take the last string you left, you're going to bring it down, and you're going to put this string over that one, like so. Again, make sure everything is tightened. And do it again. Pull. Bring this one down, this one up, and tighten. And eventually you'll get to the point where the pen just stays in there and you don't have to keep pushing it up or holding it there. And with this pattern, it's going to be another line design. Sometimes you can get a polka dot design like this one, but you're going to keep repeating that. Now, you're going to want to measure your animal's nose or look at other halters you might have, and you're going to want to measure it out. I can just estimate, since I've been showing steers for about 11 years now, I just know how long my noseband should be, but it varies for every person, so you can check, or you can just go with your gut feeling and figure it out. Next, we will look at how to do the loop. So you have 2 loops. The starting loop, which I already showed you, is up here that you have tied. And then you have your sliding loop. So to do this sliding loop, what will end up happening is we will take our pen again, and you're gonna make just basically a hole in the noseband so that you can put the lead through, as you can see in the picture. So I'm going to take my noseband like this. I'm going to take the pen and just put it right there. And it will stretch out a little bit later on when you are pulling the knot through and everything. So you don't have to worry about it being too tight or anything like that. You're just gonna do the same pattern as I showed you over here, just the under, over, under, over, under. And sometimes it will be hard for the long paracord. And then drop this one down, like so. And you're going to continue the noseband on from here, doing this same strategy so that you'll have more loop, like this much, and that you will have your lead go through so you can adjust the tightness of the halter. And then you will, like I said, continue this a bit. Drop this down and tighten. And eventually you'll be able to just pull that out, and the hole might disappear because you'll be pulling on this a lot. But when you come back up to it, you can just stretch it out and you can pull the knot through. So now that I've talked about that, we will talk about the transition knot. So I usually do a crown knot when I am transitioning, but I wanted this to be simple so everybody can do it and it wouldn't take so much time. So basically what I do for this knot is, I just bring all my paracord up. As you can see, I have a lot of it. I'm just gonna loop it over and pull all this through, just like a regular knot that you would be tying in like most things if you were in a camp or anything. And I just want to pull that tight, but not over the lead that we just did. And you can fix it, make it look nice, and just make sure that it's tight. And now we are moving on to how to do the rest of the lead. So we did the transition. Starting the lead. So I have a lot of pictures for this one because it's pretty hard to demonstrate unless you're here in person. So first I like to separate mine into color, like I said before. Now, with this design, you want to have them all flat, like it shows in the first picture here. And you want to have, basically you have 2 sides and 4 on each side. So in the first picture, I have my reds on the left outside, and then I have my greens. And then in the middle would be my, what I call an open space. And then I have red and black. So like this, I like to separate them. So in this particular design that I'm going with, I have my greens on the outside, then my blacks, and then all of my red. So I have them out flat like this, and this is my open space right here. So you're going to take the outside string of on the right side, and you're going to fold it behind here like this, and you're going to bring it between two strings. So that's kind of hard to see, but I'll show you in the share. As you can see, you bring it between two strings, and then you pull it back over to the other side. So throughout the whole entire lead, this is going to be how you make the braid. So to recap, you go from the outside right, it's always outside, on the outside, the top string is what we call it. It's the one farthest away. And you pull it through the two, and then pull it back to its side, but instead of pulling it back to the top, you pull it to the bottom of your group. So again, you still have your 4 on your right side, you still have 4 on your left side, and that's the divided part. And then you do it again, but this time on the left side. So you bring the top left, and you bring it between your 2. So you're dividing the 4 on the other side in half, essentially. And then I'll show you on here. So I brought my top string over, and it's back in its group. So now I'm taking the top green string, I'm bringing it down and between the group here, pulling, bringing it back to its own side, and now it's at the bottom, as you can see. So I will do that again on the right side. So you alternate between right and left. So first you start with the right, taking the top string, bringing it over, and now as you can see, I have my 2 here, bringing it between the 4, pulling it over, my 4 again. Now we're going to go back to the left side. We're taking this green, bringing it between there and back over. So we're going to keep repeating that, and as you can see, I have a different pattern on this one. And it'll take you a few tries to get the hang of it, and it won't always start out the way you expect, but eventually, after a while, you'll get the hang of it. And you need to make sure that you keep pulling these tight, because if they're loose, then it's not going to work well. And for the finishing knot, it's basically the same as our transition knot that I showed you, but I will show you with the finished part. So here you have your lead. You can make your lead as long as you want. I like to just keep going until I have just the very end left. For the knot, again, we're just gonna loop like this, grab the paracord. I would pull it through and tighten it like so. And now I will show you how to seal the ends. So your ends will look like this. And again, maybe get an adult for this part because you're going to take your lighter and you're going to just melt the ends just a little bit. And then what I do is I take like a board of some sort. I smash the bottom so that it flattens like that. And then it's sealed so it can't unravel and get dirty. It's sealed. So once those are sealed, you will be pulling your lead through all of the loops that we made. So first, and you're going to have to tie off your first loop. So what you will do is you will take where you had the hole up here, and you're going to take all of your lead and pull it through, and you're also going to pull the knot through, so then you have something to stop it so it doesn't come undone, and then it's easy to have the chin strap. It should look like this. I have my lead pulled through. Now I have this loop. Now you have your loop at the top, as you can see right here, that we made earlier. And we're going to pull our lead through there like that. So then we still have all of this. And this is what goes around their ears. And then you're going to take your lead again. You're going to pull it through the final loop. And this can be kind of hard because they are supposed to be somewhat tight so that they hold their shape and you can actually lead your animal around. So it will take a minute to get it all the way through. And it might take some stretching of the paracord as well. And then the final step is this part right here. Now this is an optional step. Not everybody needs to do this part, but I like to tie right here just to make sure it's extra tight. Now, depending how big your marker or pen was, you might not need to do this step, but for those of you who do, you will have a loop like this. You're going to take any extra paracord you have, and you're going to tie it as close as you can to where your lead is so that it's tight. And you're just going to do like you're tying your shoes, like that. And then I like to go on the outside of it again. Like that. And then I melted the, I sealed the end just to the already tied part. And then you will have your halter. So if you have any questions, you can message me, or if you finish your halter and you take a picture and post it on Instagram, you can tag me at Shepperson Ag. That's SHEPPERSON_AG. Thanks.